Hi everyone, and welcome back to Tarot with Wendy. I'm Wendy from Full Moon Tarot. Find me on Instagram, YouTube, or at my website, www.fullmoontarotshop.com. Now, without further ado, let's introduce you to the card of the day. Yesterday, we dealt with Mom, the Empress, so today we're going to talk about Dad, the Emperor. So like always, we're going to start with our Rider-Waite Emperor. It's worth noting that the background looks orange, but this is actually a trick. It looks like the original background is actually yellow with vertical red lines, and we're going to come back to that in a moment. But you can see how he's seated on a big stone throne, armor underneath his red robe, gold crown, he's holding an orb symbolizing the world in one hand, an ankh symbolizing life in the other. He's very severe looking, like he's about to give you a lecture, actually. And our Essential Tarot is no different. Same pose, same ram's heads on his thrones, and that actually signifies Aries, by the way, as well as the planet Mars, so there's a very masculine energy here. He's missing the orange-looking background, but he's got the mountains in the back as well. I don't know how well you can see them. There you go. And he's very authoritarian. It looks like it could be either his way or the highway. And he's very much like that father figure that wants you to follow his path because he knows what's best for you. So you can see that their red robes actually signify power and vitality. And the armor beneath the robes signify, protection from any threat, emotional or otherwise. But you do sense a very solid foundation here with the rigid thrones. And with the background of the mountains, his demeanor, it's not soft at all. You get a very hard-looking man. Now, the Lightseer's Emperor is slightly less severe. It's more like if he has to get after you, it's not that he's mad, he's just disappointed. But again, there's that ram's head. He has a tattoo of the ankh. And he's actually holding the king chess piece, and this sort of speaks to his leadership. And the fact that it's a white chess piece shows that he always goes first. In chess, white always goes first. So it's definitely speaking to his power and his authority. And you can tell that he calls the shots, but he's very strategic about it. And again, we have that orange background. So if we remember, our Empress background was all yellow, which symbolizes sort of a happy personal power. Red is more like the color of action, maybe even passion, energy, anger, danger sometimes. So instead of being all action or all happiness, he's sort of in between the two. He's powerful, but he wants you to know it and acknowledge it. And it's worth noting that orange is also the color of the sacral chakra, which has a lot to do with passion and pleasure. So this may be something that's kind of hidden in your Emperor's background. So we see our Lost Tarot Emperor being a disciplinarian or a teacher here. Depends on your point of view. It can look like he's getting after this pair, but it might be that he's teaching them. He's definitely okay with both roles, being a teacher and a disciplinarian. And it also looks like he may be representing maybe a judge or lawyer, or some kind of law officer. But of course, it's all about the authority with him. He's got to be the ruler. So our last daddy here is my favorite, Jon Snow. He's a bastard rising through the ranks, eventually finding out he's royalty. And I feel like he's our most benevolent emperor, but I may just be projecting my feelings from the show. And also, I'd like to point out that in numerology, 4 is a number of stability. And so, though we see him struggle with a lot of internal choices, Jon Snow keeps to his convictions. He doesn't sway, and he stays true to who he is. Even if there are hard times ahead, even if there are, easy choices to make, easy ways out, actually. The Emperor's protection and stability makes him someone that you want in your corner. Reverse though, far from being a concerned father figure, now he turns into a dictator. He wants it his way, and he can turn into this big, big bully. You know, it's too much of a rigid approach, and there's no chance for improvisation or change. He definitely indicates a sort of stubbornness. You know, you see how he's being very closed off. There's a lack of compassion, actually, that can be hurtful to a relationship. So instead of being like a great and inspiring leader, he turns into kind of like a weak, cowardly figure. A small person who doesn't listen to anybody else regardless of, you know, a good idea. It's gonna be what he says and that's it. And if you find him reversed too, it can be less of a person, but something more along the lines of weak foundations. It's telling you need more structure in your life. You need to build a strong foundation first. Set a schedule and stick to it. Keep your promises, keep your appointments. Maybe even be a little bit more generous with your praise. Basically, start maturing a little more and make sure your foundation is made of rock and not quicksand. So that's it for today, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow to discuss the Hierophant. Thanks for watching. Bye.